And charity given to non-qualified person is also lost. And he say hearing and chanting without faith, that also is lost. And hearing but not practicing what you have heard, he said that also is lost. He say in this way, when you don't do things properly, qualitatively, he say everything is lost. He say people been seated here. From morning till evening they heard the Bhagavatam. Then night they go back. And they go back. They do not refer back again. Recall back again what they heard there. They go back and then they indulge into their own business. Either they are on the Facebook, either they are on the internet, WhatsApp group, Astro, what is that? YouTube, WhatsApp group. And you are in love long ago, you know better. No WhatsApp. Lucky. You would have earned your ear. So in this way, Gokarna, his question, Vishnu Tuda says, all these people who have heard this thing, they go back, but they did not recall back again what they've been heard on that day. They were too busy with so many other work. Whereas the Dundukari, he was sitting, and even after everybody left, and he was trying to recall what I heard today, what I heard today, what I heard today. In this way, he says that very importantly, he says that the knowledge what you are hearing must be very stable. Number two, he says what you are learning must also very attentive. And number three, the japa you do, the chanting must be very concentrated. And number four, live in a place where there is a devotee association. And number four, only give the oblation if you are qualified to do. And number six, he said, take advice from a qualified people, not everybody and anybody. Number seven, he said, give charity to a qualified person. Number eight, hear the Bhagavatam with a great faith. And number nine, practice what you have learned all this while. Not just, learning, book learning, but, you're not putting into practice. In this way, that Gokarna got the answer. So Vishnu Tuda said, never mind, not to worry. He told all the people are seated there, he said, never mind, you come back next time and do it properly. When you do it properly, we will come back again. We give you another chance for you. Next time you do it properly this way. He said, when you do it properly, we will come. But for Gokarna, you have spoken this Bhagavatam very nicely. He said, for you, we won't come. What does that mean?
Yeah.
Why? What automatic? The Lord will come. He said, Govinda will come. For others, we will come. For you, Govinda will come. So in this way, very importantly, we have to understand whatever we've been talking today and past few days, people are looking for the highest kinds of happiness in this world. It is possible. But either it's material or spiritual. Material means higher kinds of happiness, means higher kinds of sorrowfulness will come in. No? But in the spiritual platform, there is only one platform. Brahma Bhuta Prasanatma Naso Chatina Kansati Sama Sarvesu Bhutesu Madbhaktim Labate Para. The highest kinds of happiness is that when you are self-realized. Very importantly, we have to understand. Everything, there's a solution in life. Bhakti is the solution. Love is the solution for everything. If you have got so much of love in your heart, you enjoy your life so much. A person who has got impurity in their heart, even with the money, they are not very happy. So the love is the only solution of this world. Bhakti, we call it bhakti. But to have that bhakti, that love, Krishna says that you must have 17 qualities in your life. You must be self-realized. You cannot be happy in your life when you are in ignorant stage. Those who are in ignorance cannot be happy. Those who are enlightened, they are very happy. There was a king, he lost his child when there was a big, rain, for continuous rain and big flood, and somewhere or other he lost his son, a king. And the son also do not know that he has come from the king's family. Somewhere or other, one beggar, he found him as a baby, and the beggar raised him up and he became a beggar. And the king's son, without knowing, he was begging everywhere. And after some time, there were some marks in his body which the king remembered. And he made an announcement that, my child has lost, long ago. They're looking for this, he has got, all these, symptoms, the marks on his body. So in this way, finally they found him. He was begging. So the king took him to the palace. After some time, the king died and he became a king. And now he went back to the street again. One time he disguised himself to go and experience the begging again. He became a beggar. That time he was in a great anxiety, always in a sorrowfulness. After becoming a king, he said, let me go and try, today begging, how begging feeling for me. So this time when he went to beg, but he was not feeling any sorrow in himself. Last time people don't put money, he feel very angry towards them. He feel very sorry for himself. Nobody is giving any money. But this time he was a king, he went in disguise, he go and beg. Whether people put money or not putting money is not bothered. It doesn't affect him because he knows I'm a king. Why he should worry about this thing? Only, I'm just trying, that's all. But, I'm a king. So in this way, when you are self-realized, you understand your real identity in this world. And whatever position you are, you always feel very joyful and happy. So that is what Krishna said in the Bhagavad Gita. There are 20 quality makes a person self-realized. Buddhaya Visudaya Yukta Dristayadmanam Niyamyacha Sabdade Visayam Tyaktva Raga Dvesa Vyudasyacha Vivikta Sevi Lagvasi Yatava Kaya Manasa Dhyana Yogam Paro Nityam Vairagyam Samupastrite Ahankara Baladarpam Kama Krodha Cha Parigraha Vimucha Nirmama Santo Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpate Brahma Bhuta Prasanatma Nasuchati Nakansati Sama Sarvesu Bhutesu Madbhaktin Labate. Only your bhakti begin. Our bhakti only begin when our life is purified. He said number one is that you must have purified intelligence. If you are self-realized, you must have a purified intelligence. That means the intelligence must know what is good, what is bad, what is dharma, what is adharma, what to be done, what is not to be done. Everything must be very clear. So number one is a purified intelligence. Is a symptom of self-realized person. Number two, the mind is controlled. Number three is free of sense gratification. And number four, gradually he give up the attachment of the world. Number 4, there is no desirousness and hatredness. There is no desires and hatredness in himself. Number 6, he is able to control the amount of food he is eating. Number 7, he can control his mind, body and speech. Number 8, he has got the detachment in his life. Number 9, he is always conscious of Krishna. Number 10, he is free from false ego. Number 11, he is free from false pride. Number 12, he is free from false strength. Number 13, he is free from desires. Number 14, he is free from anger. Number 15, he is free from the false proprietorship. Free from false proprietorship. He doesn't think that it all belongs to me. This is my car, this is my house, this is my country. Not like that. And number 16 is always very peaceful. And number 17 is in the association of the devotees and practicing bhakti. These are the 17 qualifications of a self-realized person. If anybody wants to be happy in their life, they got to be enlightened. And these are the qualifications, these are the symptom of a self-realized person. Krishna says, Bhaktyamam abhijanati. Now the bhakti become very strong and steady. And all this emotion we are talking, we are able to experience in our life. The previous week, last week, I spoken very important thing. There are 5 things that are required for a person to be perfected in his life, perfection of life. Number 1 is that he must understand the permanent emotion in himself called Sthayi Bhava. There's a permanent emotion in our heart. But today we are taken over by the temporary emotion, material emotion. But there's a permanent spiritual emotion inside. We must understand this one. It's called Sthayi Bhava. And to attain that permanent emotion, only Krishna can help you. You need to be a devotee of Krishna. And for Krishna to help you, you need the help of a devotee. It is called Vibhava. First is called Sthayi Bhava, permanent emotion. Second is called Vibhava, that to attain Krishna, that devotee must help you. Number 3 is called Anubhava. Now there is a transformation in your body, the changes in your body. Last time you're crying for material thing, now you're crying for Krishna. There's Anubhava. And from there it can become a Sadvika Bhava. There's another form of transformation in your body. Then number 5 is called Vyabhachari Bhava. There are 33 symptoms are there in that thing. So in this way, the 5 things are very important to come to the highest level of human life. So it's all possible that we can perform the bhakti. And I've also said there are 64 angas of bhakti called sadhana bhakti. When the sadhana bhakti you do properly, coming to the temple, putting the tilak on your, foreheads and your body and dancing in front of the Lord and putting the garland of food to the Lord, and then to be a servant of the Lord, to be a friend of the Lord, to going to the Radhayatra festival, going to the pilgrimage, to follow the Ekadasi Vrata, to Kartik Vrata, and with all these 64, when you do this thing properly, it becomes a Bhava Bhakti. Bhava Bhakti has got 9 transformations. For life of the human being, tolerance is the greatest, important factors of life. You have to tolerate with so many things. When you are born, you're crying all the time. But the mother, father has to tolerate on you, otherwise they may throw you. Maybe somewhere. Isn't it? Longkang or somewhere, Kupatoti or somewhere they throw you. People are already throwing ready, cannot tolerate crying and crying. You know? So the first, when you do the bhakti properly, the first transformation you get is that Krishna give you the tolerance. Because the whole human life is very test, very big tribulation. Lot of challenges are there in our life. Not easy to bring up, your children. They're very ungrateful. Everything you do, they're very ungrateful. They like their handphone more than you. They're more time they're spending with their handphone than the parents, with anything else. They become slave to the gadgets, gadgets, So now the first thing Krishna will give you is a tolerance. I'm tolerant what to do, my karma. The donkey is born here. And number 2, Krishna give you the brain how to organize your time properly. What time to wake up, what to do, all your time management comes very good for you. It is called Avyartha Kalatva. Number 3, Virakti, that automatically you like the detachment. You don't worry so much about material attachment. Detachment comes in. And number 4, the symptom comes in, the result comes in, is that manasunyata, your pride will be taken away from you. No more prideness there. No more ego. I know everything. No need to advise me, mummy. You go your way. Mummy, don't waste my time on her. They no more pride in themselves. And number 5, they're very confident that they will get the mercy of Krishna. And number 6, always they're longing when I can go back to the temple, when I can go and see the Lord and the devotee. Number 7, they get the taste for chanting. Okay, I like to chant, I like to chant. Number 8, they like the attachment for hearing. I like to go and hear. And number 9, they develop the attachment to go back to Krishna. Enough to Malaysia. Useless place. I trusted all these politicians, trusted the UMNO, trusted the MIC, trusted the DAP, Pakatan. I trusted all these useless fellows who were slave of their senses. For money, they don't even mind to kill their own family members. They sell their own, dignity, everything for money. The government give them a free car, they give them a free house, they give every allowance, they give enough pay for them, still they go and steal people's money. This is the useless politicians are here. Enough is enough. To live with all these useless fellows. Let me go back. Isn't it? So that desire will become very strong. Everything will be very clear to you. Everything will be very clear. So the emotion which is material will become spiritual. And that is the beginning where you will feel the way Mahaprabhu is feeling, that the separation even for a moment becomes very great, very strong, 12 years or more, and we crying and crying. So in this way, that anchoring and lamentation are very powerful elements in the material world. People always anchor, they do not know what they really want. They want too much of everything, but do not know too much also, they do not know how much they want. Isn't it? If today Kubera come to you and ask you how much money you want, what you will say? How much you want? Do you believe that? Even your wife won't believe you. You believe him, but he come and show you the money. He put the money on the table, take and build temple for Krishna. That is the beginning of Maya coming in. It's all beginning. Maya knows how to trick you. There are many people, Maya trick them without the tilak. For the devotee, Maya trick them with the tilak. That's why many temples they are fighting. You know, all the organization, all the temple, all the church and mosque, why people are fighting, reading Quran, reading Bible, reading Vedas, why they are fighting? Because the desire is born within them. It's inner born. You cannot take away the desire from you. You're not a sannyasi that, you see, the diamond and the dollar and the earth, everything same. The moment Kubera said, take the money and build temple, okay, you take and put. You know how Parikshit Maharaj, he made the mistake. When Parikshit Maharaj caught the Kali, and he says, you have no place in my kingdom, go away. Where to go? And he says, okay, where they're eating meat, you go and sit there. Where they're gambling, you go and sit there. Where they're humanizing, you go and sit there. Where they are, drinking alcohol, go and sit there. And Kali says, in your kingdom there is nothing like that. Parikshit, he told, in your kingdom there is no place where they're killing animal, eating meat. There is no place alcoholism, there is no place womanizing, there is no place gambling. So I cannot go. Where to go? Give me another place. And Parikshit said, okay. You go and take shelter of the gold. You go and sit in the gold. He said, okay. So Parikshit Maharaj, and then one time he was sitting in his palace, on his, some big festival. Somebody came and put the crown for him. There's a gold in the crown. He forgot that is a Maya already gone into the gold. And he, when he was put the gold, in the form of a crown on his head, Maya captured him. That is how he made the mistake, with the Rishi, Stringy father. That's how, because he's a very learned person, very scholar, he's a devotee. How he doesn't know that he's a sadhu, I cannot do this thing, because Maya confused him. So like that, Maya may come in the dollar and tells you build temple. That is the beginning. And then, all other things. Okay, now as he said, when Kubera comes, we don't even know how much to ask him. True or not? Somebody asks you how much money you want, I will give you. You do not know how much. Even I'm a Samyar, I'm a sannyas, I also do not know how much to ask him. Maybe I think, maybe ask, 2 million. But you're also not very sure that fellow got 2 million or not. Then somebody give you the checkbook, he said, okay, fill up how much you want. What do? You do not know how much to fill up because you do not know how much the fellow got in the bank. Maybe bounce back, better to get 50 ringgit from him, you can try 50,000, not even getting a 50 ringgit. So we do not even know what we need in the material world, We are in a place where things are not very certain in our life. So in this way, we have to understand, that is how the lifestyle in the material world, everything is not very certain here. And somewhere or other we are caught into this game of Maya play. And our life become very miserable. And it's not, possible to take away the Maya game unless we surrender to Krishna and divert, spiritualize everything. In the 5th chapter, text 7, Krishna explains, Yoga Yukta Visuddhatma Vijitatma Jitendriya Sarva Bhutatma Bhutatma Kurvanapina Lipyate. The moment you are able to control your mind and senses and perform bhakti for Krishna, then your heart will be filled up with total full of love. And you will begin to love everybody in the world when your heart is filled with love. And they also begin to love you. He says, Naiva Kinchit Karomiti. At that moment, with lot of love for Krishna, whether you are sitting or walking or talking or looking at anything, he said, there is no karma for you. You become free. There is no any effect of karma in the world. The moment you become Krishna conscious. So Mahaprabhu is giving us an opportunity to do this thing. Because the anchoring and lamentation are already the basic principle of life. Always we are anchoring, we need something. Always we are crying, something is taken away from us. There was a poor man, he went and met the king. And, he was crying at the king, help me. King said, how to help you? He said, I want some land. And king asked him, how much land you need? It's up to you. That's what he said to the king, because the fellow got all the land. How much are you going to ask? 1 acre, 2 acre? So he thought, take the chance, he told the king, up to you, how much you give. King said, okay. He said, now 12 o'clock midday, up to next day 12 o'clock. Whether you walk or run, from here, whichever, up to what distance, you walk or run till next day 12 o'clock, midday, all this land belongs to you. You take. Today it starts 2 or 12 o'clock, not 12 o'clock, you begin to go. Whether you walk or run, next day till next day 12 o'clock, whatever you capture, that's all belongs to you, take. So therefore, started to, walk, and then he was thinking, walking means I only, can capture, just, few distance, let me run. So he was running and running and running, and he said, non-stop running. So if I stop, then may be shortage. Let me run, So without eating and drinking, he ran and ran and ran till the next day, midday, then he collapsed and died. And finally, he only got 6 feet of land. He doesn't even understand that is what finally he's going to get, 6 feet. But because his desire is so strong, so always anchoring and lamentation of the material world, he cannot be peaceful. But anchoring and lamentation, it cannot take away from the living being. It is there all the time. In Tamil they say the ekamam varuthamam. இது வேணும் இது வேணும் இது வேணும்னு ஏக்கம் இருந்தது போயிடுச்சேன்ட்டு வருத்தம். Only people have not anchoring and lamentation is Kavinima and his wife. ஏன் தெரியுங்களா? காதலுக்கு கண்ணில், அப்போ கண்ணு இல்லாமல் போச்சு, அவங்களுக்கு விஷயம் உண்மையாக புரியல. கண்ணு இருந்தால் தெரிஞ்சிருக்கும் அவங்களுக்கு. அம்மா ஒரு கையை உடச்சிட்டு உட்காந்துருக்காங்க. Okay, any questions, any comments?